Hi guys, welcome back. Most of us who are not supervisors tend to be fairly passive at work. We try to do our work and keep our heads low. We don't express a lot of our personal opinions because it can be risky to do that. So when we employees are forced to do something that we'd rather not, we can tend to become passive-aggressive about it. We pretend to go along even when behind the scenes we're working against it. Assertiveness is supposed to be a better option. But some of us in protected classes have to be cautious about even that, because anything we do can be perceived as too aggressive. Assertiveness doesn't always work for us, and that leaves us with a tendency to be more passive-aggressive than assertive sometimes. Being passive-aggressive can make us feel powerful for a little while, but the problem is because it's so covert, it's difficult to resolve anything that way. Now, most of the time at work, we don't disagree strongly with whatever's happening. We go along to get along, and occasionally take one for the team. That becomes a habit, and in most situations, it works okay. But in a discrimination situation, cooperating and taking one for the team can work against you and your interests. Shortly before I filed my EEOC claim, my boss put me in charge of planning our annual awards ceremony. Then she got a new administrative assistant and decided to put her in charge instead, which made sense. But in private, my boss kept telling me that she was holding me accountable. Boss lady wanted a particular kind of printer paper for some fun awards that she was going to hand out at the ceremony. The new admin couldn't find that paper, so she bought some different paper instead. Boss lady told her that was fine, but after the new admin went home, boss lady sent me shopping for the paper. And I went, because after all, she was still holding me accountable. I was supposed to get off work at 4:30, but we needed the paper the next morning. At 6 p.m., my husband called because the weather was getting scary and he wanted to know what time I was going to be heading home. And I must have sounded frantic when I told him about the paper. He told me to come home right now, but of course I resisted that, so he started asking me some questions.
Why are you looking for paper? I thought the admin was in charge.
She is, but boss lady is holding me accountable. Then hubby said something really profound.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? At first it felt a little scary to question my boss, but the questions I had were reasonable questions that anyone in my situation would have had. And anyway, the EEOC claim had already put a target on my back. So I swallowed hard and I asked my questions as professionally as I could. Once I got past that initial fear of questioning my boss, asking my questions actually felt good. And over time, I found that I could express pretty much any concern that I had with questions. If you're going to do this, it helps to frame your questions in the right context. That makes it harder for your employer to spin them and easier for EEOC and others to see where your questions were coming from. This afternoon, when you asked me to go shopping for the specialty paper you wanted, you said you were still holding me accountable for the ceremony, even though it's no longer my project. That clearly explains the circumstances that led to my concern. Next, it's okay to share any concerns or feelings you may have that are appropriate to a business situation. You want to explain why you have those feelings in a clear, concise, non-accusatory way. I'm confused because I don't know what it means that you're going to hold me accountable for a project that isn't mine. And then once your concerns are documented, you can include a request. You can ask your boss to explain something, clarify, verify. Direct me to the governing policy. Help me understand your expectations. Clarify how you decided this was the right decision. Those are bold questions, and my boss hated when I asked them. But so what? What was she going to do, ostracize me? She'd already done that. Don't forget that your EEOC battle is a battle, and that means it's okay for you to fight a little harder than you otherwise might. Keep it professional, but don't hesitate to question the things that they do and say to you. Don't be afraid to be assertive and ask the questions. You guys hang in and take care. Fight smart and hang in to win.